Hi and welcome to In the Loop. Today I'm with Brandi Miller-Parrish and we're at the Jennings Environmental Education Center. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So, I always feel like the Jennings Environmental Education Center is one of the best kept secrets, a hidden gem in Butler. I feel like you drive up the road and people go to Moraine, but they don't hear a lot about the Jennings Environmental Education Center, and you do so many things here and it's such a cool place. So just tell us a little bit about some of the things you do here.
Well, we often hear what you just said a lot. People that live very close to us often say that it's in their own backyard and they never come here. So this is a very special little place. We have the only managed and protected prairie in the state of Pennsylvania, so that kind of sets us apart from all the other parks in Pennsylvania. In addition to having some really awesome natural resources, we do a lot of community programming. We are a field trip destination for a lot of schools, so we'll offer preschool through university level programming opportunities for schools. But we also do a lot with the public, and we do a lot with volunteers as well. We have 3 large volunteer events every year. We have one in the spring, which is coming up very soon, and that is our invasive species. It's called Take Back the Woods, Battling Invasive Species. We have one in September, and that's our National Public Lands Day event. And then we have one in January, which is focused on managing the prairie and really keeping that area, maintaining it to stay a prairie rather than converting back into a shrubby area or a forest.
Okay, well, Take Back the Woods is something that I had just heard about, and I'm very curious to learn more about that. And it deals with invasive species or something. So tell us a little bit about that upcoming event.
Yeah. Take Back the Woods, Battling Invasive Species will take place on Saturday, April 21st from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's a work event. So we focus on eradicating invasive plant species in the park. So what does it mean to be an invasive species? First, we have to define it to understand what the impact is that we're making. And when it comes to natural resources and plants and animals, we have sort of 2 categories. We have native plants and animals that were here prior to European settlement. And then we have non-native plants and animals that have been introduced from other areas of the world. And sometimes when plants and animals are introduced from other areas, they tend to get out of control and they start taking over areas. Okay. And that's what we're experiencing with a lot of plants and animals as well. But this particular event really focuses on invasive plants. So these are plants like garlic mustard, multiflora rose, Japanese barberry, Japanese honeysuckle, autumn olive. And these are plants that have been introduced from other places, usually Eastern Asia, some from Europe, and they've been introduced for a variety of reasons. A lot of them are for ornamental reasons because they're beautiful plants. Some of them for erosion control. Some of them to actually provide food for the animals, especially birds here in Pennsylvania. The problem is they don't have any natural predators or natural controls, so they start taking over. And then they outcompete the native species that do provide habitat and food for our native animals here in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you're trying, so the work day is to sort of help get that under control. Yes. Now, so what can people expect if they come to this event? What will they be doing? Okay,
so we always start out with an introduction of why we're doing this inside. So we will have an intro, learn about the problems caused by invasive species, and then we will break up into work groups, and there will be certain locations that each group will go in the park. And while we're out there, we'll be targeting certain species. So one group might be targeting garlic mustard, one group might be targeting multiflora rose and honeysuckle. And we'll work for about 2 hours or so. And then we all come back into the center and you're rewarded by a wonderful lunch that actually includes some of these edible invasive species. Oh. And the North Country Brewery actually caters that lunch for us. So they will go out ahead of time. They'll collect garlic mustard and knotweed and some other edible invasive species, and they incorporate that into lunch. So
fascinating.
you might have garlic mustard mashed potatoes, or you might have knotweed soup. There might be a dessert that includes knotweed. So if you can't beat them, you eat them.
Yeah, that's a fascinating twist to this, and I think that's something that will really appeal to a lot of people that are thinking about this too. Now, how can they find out more about this event?
Well, you can go to the calendar of events. So this is a registration program because
Okay.
we have to know how many people we need to
Okay.
feed. So you can go to our online calendar of events and you can register there. Or if you have further questions, you can always call the center and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So besides getting that meal, are there any other little perks that people might want to know about, or?
Absolutely. So we always feed our volunteers, but we also like to give them a take-home item as well. And for this event, they get a native flower that they get to take home and plant in their own garden.
That's
So
not invasive.
That's not invasive. No, they can remove their invasives and replace it with this native plant that's actually grown by one of our volunteers here at Jennings.
So Brandi, are there any age limitations to people who can participate in this event?
Yes, for our public volunteer events, there is an age limit of 12 and older for all of our volunteer events.
Okay, and I'd imagine if anyone needs to find more out, they can just go to your website or call, or?
Absolutely. They can go to the online calendar of events and find out more information. They can check out our Facebook page and they can always call the center, and we're happy to answer any questions they may have.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I think that this sounds so fun, especially that you can eat the things that you reap out of the forest. So if you're looking for something to do and ways to learn and to help the environment, I hope you'll stop by for Take Back the Woods. For Armstrong, I'm Daneen O'Donnell, keeping you in the loop.